Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. So today's video is actually going to be based on a comment from my previous video. So I'd like to thank Nicole Jones for suggesting about cardboard. I love the idea, and that's exactly what we're going to do today, so thank you. So what we're going to do today is actually make a clock, but instead of just having this part, we're going to use the ticker from the back of the actual clock and make our own clock face. So I do have this one actually on my wall, but we're going to have some fun. This would be great for children and even adults alike. But yeah, so let's get started. These are the things that you're going to need for this craft. So first you want to go have a clock, even if it's from Dollarama or like a dollar store in general. I would definitely suggest the lower end ones because they probably come apart a little bit easier. This one has like clips on the back and front kind of, and it just slips off and you're able to access the ticker. So yeah, those are the clips right there. So they just kind of snap off. And yeah, that part comes off, and that's what we're going to use for that. So next you need a glue stick. Just a paper glue, like ones you used to use in school, or kids still use in school. And an X-Acto knife. If you don't have one of these, scissors will work perfect too. This one is actually from the dollar store, but it doesn't work very well. It's not that sharp, but it still does the job. Obviously a pencil so you can trace and do like numbers and everything on there. Scissors. And now these ones I have, they came in a 5-pack. Avery actually has the green one. But yeah, so you just need to pick 2 colors. You can get these anywhere. If you can't find the little packs, definitely just use bristol board. You can just cut it to the size that you need, depending on what size of clock you're doing. So with this one, I'm going to choose pink and blue. Alright, so next you need cardboard. I just literally took a box and just cut out the size that I needed. So yeah, just any box, any size. If you'd like to do a small clock, that's great too. Alright, so what you want to do is we're going to actually first, in a minute, we are going to trace the clock. So what you want to do is just place the clock down and grab your pencil, and you just want to trace. If you're choosing to do a smaller clock, you can either definitely like freehand it, or even if you have one of those geometry sets, they have like those little, I forget what they're called, but you like put the little one part in with a pencil and you can like trace to make a perfect circle. But we're gonna do it this way. So now the fun part. Again, this one's not too sharp. So I did have a little bit of trouble with it around the sides, like it just kind of went in its own direction. But that's alright, it still worked out. Once you have this part down, then you can just pop it out of the cardboard. Yeah, right here, that's where it started becoming unruly. Also, if there is children doing this, definitely help them with this part. Is, just so they stay safe from the knives and scissors and stuff. Alright, so next you just want to like trim the edges just to make it a little more clean cut on the edges there. Alright, so now you just want to take the pencil and try to find as close to the center as you can. Later on in the video, or not like the actual video, but I noticed on my clock there that it was not centered. But that's alright. Practice makes perfect, right? But yeah, so you just want to poke the pencil through. If you have another tool that works better, definitely go ahead and use that. Pencils work otherwise. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is you want to grab your glue stick and then cover the glue on the thing after. But what you actually want to do first is you want to grab your first colored paper and then you're going to trace the cardboard part on there just to make like a clock face. So yeah, trace around it. And next you're going to want scissors to cut it out. Or if you have the X-Acto knife, that's fine too. I just chose to use scissors here, just because it's a thin paper, it's probably easier. So yeah, you just want to cut it out now. I will mention, like unrelated to the crafting, I will be also making like normal videos throughout the weeks and everything. So it's not just gonna be like all crafting for those that like don't enjoy the crafts. That's fine. There's definitely gonna be a variety of videos being posted in the next few weeks. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. Alright, so once you got that cut out, and you'll want to trim the edges as much as you can, make sure they're kind of fit with the cardboard. You'll notice after that I actually had to go back and cut it after it was glued. So first you actually want to make sure that it's centered as much. And yeah, I just almost lost my pencil. So yeah, you're just making a hole to match with the other in the cardboard part, which will be where the clock ticker goes later on. Alright, so now you want to grab your glue stick and you just want to spread it all over the cardboard. I was trying before not to get my hands full of glue, but that just didn't work out. So, yeah. But it's alright. Alright, so now you just want to grab the Bristol board and just place it on there as close to the center as possible. You just want to that's the part where you want to trim. And there we go. Alright, so moving on to the actual clock. So if you're kind of looking at the back part, there should be like two clips that are like with this the battery compartment. You just kind of snap those off, and yeah, it just comes off. And then in the same area in a minute you'll see like there's little clips. You can, with this clock I was actually able to take it off with my hand. Some clocks you might need like something to pry it off. But yeah, and then you just take the ring part off. I did get this clock at Dollarama, if anybody's wondering. But yeah, any clock will really do, as long as it has the compartments and stuff that you can snap off. Because you definitely want the battery pack part and the hands. This one did come with a seconds hand as well as the hours and minutes, but I already took this one apart because it actually was broken when I first bought it. So this one only has the hours and the minutes. So now what we want to do is draw on the numbers, which later on we will trace them with like markers. Oh, I forgot to mention we'll need markers. I actually forgot to put that in the beginning of the video. But yeah, so it's probably easiest to put like 12 at the top and then do the side numbers, so like 3, and then you want to go down to the bottom 6 and then 9. And then from like once you have all 4 of those numbers in as a base, then it's probably easier to just like fill in the numbers within. But whatever's easier. And I did notice not all paper will do this, but I thought it was just this pencil because the eraser is kind of like bad. But you'll see in a minute that I actually grabbed like a normal eraser and it did the same thing. That like if you try to erase little parts of it, it will actually turn the Bristol board white. So that probably isn't good, but it's fine. This one will just be a home craft. Just be aware of that it might not erase properly. Yeah, that's when I got the other eraser. See, I'm just filling in the remainders of the numbers. Alright, so it's kind of hard to see, but that is the numbers. Alright, so if you want to grab your second colored Bristol board, for me, I'm just going to do like a ring around the center. At this point with the second one, you can literally do anything you want to. It's just for a fun design. You could even like do a square, a triangle. Originally, I was actually going to use the blue and do like the actual tracing out of the numbers around the clock, but I tried it and it just didn't work out for me. But yeah, I was actually gonna like glue like I was actually going to like do the numbers and then cut them out and then glue them on, but it just didn't work out for me. So feel free to try it. And if it doesn't, then definitely do anything you want. Near the end of the video, I do test out the actual clock working, and you'll see the outcome for that. So just definitely look for that. Now there was an easier way if you folded the paper and then kind of just cut out like an oval, but I just didn't want to crease the paper, so I just did it this way. Alright, so whichever design you chose now, you just want to grab your glue stick and then glue it on. I'm also going to mention you want to be mindful through this craft. I probably should have said this at the beginning. Be mindful of the surface you're working on, especially with the X-Acto knife, or even, well, scissors are probably okay. But even glue, like if you have furniture that you're working on, you just don't want to get like glue on it. You don't want it to cut through the knife or anything. So just be mindful of that. Also, we're moving on now to the markers, which will trace the numbers. I'm going to stick with the blue pattern, but you can definitely choose any color you'd like. Alright, about halfway done now. I will mention too, while you're doing the numbers, I actually did a green clock previously to this one with my son, and we kind of messed up on the numbers, just the spacing between each one. This one was a little bit, but not too bad. But yeah, I just also want to just maybe like do little points beforehand, and that way you have all the numbers properly there. So yeah, next I'm actually deciding to do glitter, which is those like little sticky rhinestone things. So yeah, you can choose anything you want. Be mindful of this as well, is that the higher it is, like you might have issues with I think the hour hand, because it might like get stuck on the raised bump of whatever that is. So this one I was actually okay with, but if I did anything higher, it probably would have got stuck. You can even do stickers. Stickers would work good. If you have stamps, you can literally like stamp little things on, little characters or whatever. You can even draw anything at this point, which is great. Go wild. And again, this is meant more for children, like this, and adults. Like, I'm just having fun with this clock. So, like, whatever you put on it, like, go as crazy as you want for it. It doesn't have to look professional, not at all. If you would like it to, then that's great too. So yeah, as you can see, I just added a couple more rounds of the sequin things. And now I am just gonna have fun with some markers and do little loops around different colors. You can even draw shapes. As that saying goes, the world is your palette. That's the same with this clock. If you don't have markers, that's fine too, like pencil, crayons, even paint. Paint would work great too. So whatever you have on hand, it will work perfect. So this one I decided to go with a different drawing pattern. I just did a spiral. Alright, so what I decided here was to put shapes around the numbers. I'm going to first do hearts, and then halfway, so like at the 6, I'm going to change it to a different shape. And what I wanted to mention here too, if you have younger children, you can even do like it in quarters of different shapes. Like if you're in the midst of like teaching them shapes or the time even, you can even do like quarterly, like do like 3 numbers like hearts, and then like 3 number squares or triangles or stars, whatever it may be. And then even if you're like, say you're potty training your children, or like for supper time, you can even like put like a little thing that indicates it, so then they can kind of learn how to do the time as well. So like say like 2 o'clock is nap time or something, or I guess that like older you wouldn't have that. But okay, say like a kindergarten student or something, they can say like what time supper is, say 6 o'clock. You can have it set for 6 o'clock, or even have like say the motorized part doesn't work, And then you can even put like a plate around the 6 or the 12 or whatever. And then you can be like, okay, well, when these hands move to that time, that means it's supper time. Or something like that. It definitely will like be really nice for like learning. I wish I did this for my kids when they were younger. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to move on to actually doing the clock ticker. So for this part, you will need a hot glue gun, or the hot glue part. And what you want to do is put the hot glue around this black part there. Just be mindful that you do not put it on the white part, or else you will not be able to have it turn. But anyways, continuing on. Alright, so while this dries, we found this glove. Avery actually has the other one right now. Anyways, Avery has the other one right here. You can put it up, and they can make a really cool sound. And they remind me of those like hand things where it was like little needles or something, and it'd like go upside down and you put your hand in it. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Alright, so we'll check on our paint for drying. Alright, so back to the clock. I have attached the battery thing on the back. I just want to make sure, for the battery, make sure it's like positioned the right way. With mine, it has to be towards the bottom. Just because that's the way it spins. So if you put it like the wrong way, it might go backwards. So next you want to grab the little hands. For this specific clock, my hour hand goes on first, and then my minute one. But it depends on the clock you have. So definitely look at that first. So for this one, you want to push it down as far as you can, but like leave a tiny inch of like space, not even an inch, like just a tiny space so it can still turn. Yeah, so now I'm putting the hour hand on. If you do have the seconds hand, you would do this now. So yeah, so what we're going to do, we are going to set it to 6:15, and I am going to let it go for 5 minutes. Obviously, I sped it up just so you don't have to sit there. But yeah, so we'll do that, and I'll do some tapping ASMR while we're waiting for that in a minute. There we go. noticed that was the clock face of the actual one from Dollarama. And yeah, so I guess it lived up to the working part of it, and I'm happy. So I hope you enjoyed this and enjoy the rest of your night. Bye.